So I wrote this book in an afternoon, and it's about a little girl, Rosa, around 10 years old. She's Latina, and her abuelo, her grandfather, is a curandero, a medicine. And he has taught her how, when she is in big trouble or very sick, to summon 5 tigers to her aid. And she comes down with a very, very serious case of pneumonia. And the 5 tigers are activated to go and try and rescue her. And they go to do battle with the bacteria, and they are horribly outnumbered, and it looks hopeless. And one of the tigers comes up with an ingenious solution. And I won't do any more spoilers. But,
okay.
Yeah, you want the rest of the story, buy the book.
It sounds beautiful. I was hoping you'd tell that story, so thank you so much for sharing that with everyone. And I think it's true, you know, actually, and just in my own world, you know, as soon as I became activated into my awareness, animals started coming to me. You know, it was in my mind, tigers. I don't see tigers really in the desert in Israel, but you know, birds, all types of birds, and even my cat. You know, we got her, and it was just it's synchronous. There's something about the animal souls and ours that are calling us back to our wilder soul, as like Clarissa Pinkus Estes would say.
I am known in some circles as shape-shifting bear.
Oh, okay.
And my Hebrew name when I was born is Strong Bear.
Uh-huh.
So yes, so the bear is my animal.
Yes, cool, very cool. But I was going to ask you about your books. Are they sold in stores, or can just people buy them on Amazon?
The best way right now is to get through Amazon. The first 2 are only available as ebooks because I had a very stupid publisher who would not issue them and anything else. But the Tiger book is available in hardcover, paperback, and as an ebook.
And what is the name of the Tiger book again?
Oh goodness! I happen to have a copy right here.
Oh, cool! They can't see.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Well, the 5 Fierce Tigers of Rosa Martinez.
Ah, nice, cool. The 5 Fierce Tigers of Rosa Martinez. Beautiful title.
Yeah.
So wonderful. And so how have you evolved? One of our last questions here. How have you, Burt, evolved on this issue of balancing both the masculine and feminine energies?
Well, I started from way over on the other pendulum side. And I think I really started having my eyes open in the 70s, early 70s. And I had a relationship with a brilliant woman. She was an artist. And she had a lot of anger because even then she knew what a talented, creative, smart woman would have to go through in the business world in order to succeed. And she opened my eyes to an awful lot of things. And I never shut them afterwards. So I've just been paying attention. And I'm profoundly pro-man and pro-woman. You know, I'm profoundly the symbiosis of both. And it makes, when I see the chicanery going on with these women who have come forward and accused politicians out, starting from Trump, it drives me berserk. It physically hurts.
Yeah, that's true. Also, sometimes when I'm in an environment that doesn't, I don't resonate with, sometimes I do feel some pain, you know, and I think that we need to be cognizant of that. You know, I know that in the past I would have just tried to fit in or just push it under the table, but now, you know, I even discuss it pretty openly. Like, I just didn't feel good about it. You know, if somebody asked me, well, why aren't you doing X? And I'm like, it just didn't feel good. You know, I don't have to give any more explanation. And I think just saying that, I feel like saying that is important because a lot of people feel, or I know that I used to feel like I needed to give a reason, even if it was false. I needed to give a reason to try to help people understand. But now I don't feel that way. I feel that whatever my feelings are the truth. And if people cannot understand it, I can't explain it to them.
Yeah.
But I think it's true for everyone. You know, I don't think we have to explain ourselves anymore.
You're right. You're right. Why should we have to? You know, regardless of who was it? The guy who wrote Psychiatrist Who Survived the Concentration Camps, A Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl. His big takeaway from that experience was that you cannot always control what happens to you, but you do have control over how you react. And this is what we have here.
Right. And I've heard that many times as well throughout this year of transformation. And that's really what I do now. You know, even if things, you know, resonated with me maybe 2 days ago, but doesn't resonate with me now, I don't need to, you know, I just need to say, this is the way it is. This is what I'm doing. And I just need to be in alignment with myself. I think that's the important point here. You know, I think as a woman, maybe growing up in a certain kind of environment, I felt like I had to please people, not just men, like everyone. I had to please everybody. And now that I refuse to do that anymore, and I'm more centered in myself, and even when people ask me why, and if I have no answer, it's enough. I don't have to say, you know, I don't have to say anything. And that was a big, actually, to be honest with you, that was a big step for me. To be in that energy and say, well, I don't have to prove anything to you. This is who I am. You know, you can.
Can I turn the tables and ask how you evolved?
What'd you say?
Could I turn the tables and ask how you evolved?
How I leaped over?
How you evolved.
How I evolved. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Yeah, sure. So it's been a long journey, to be honest with you, but I think when we moved here to Israel, my husband passed away, just to some details, personal details. My husband passed away, which is why we're in Israel. His family is here. And I decided with the children, we all decided to just come and have a new adventure here in this country. And I don't know, something happened to me in this last year and a half. What happened to me was I followed my desire. That's how the birth of my business became. I just decided, you know, was in some failed situations with people that didn't work out the way I had wanted it to. And I said to myself, well, I can't keep doing this. You know, I was also in a marriage. It was very challenging for me. It didn't work out the way I planned. And I said, for myself and the children, I have to go with my desire. That's the only thing I know I can trust. And, you know, I had some mentors definitely along the way that assisted me. But every time I said yes to my desire, another miracle occurred. And I began to trust it. You know, and that's when I started to get some coaches. And they took me to a place, to my darkness, actually, to help me to trust being there and using it. And now, even when I have to go under, you know, like I'm in a situation and I don't know where I'm going, and I'm saying, okay, I trust the divine, like I'm going with you wherever you're asking me to. Mm-hmm. I've always seen a miracle happen, you know, and I almost know, I'm like, okay, it seems black here, but really there's a light on the other side. So I must go in.
Right.
But yeah, it's been amazing. So I just wish that for every person on the earth, you know, to have that, to go after the desire. When they look at me and they look at me with wonder and they say, wow, I can't believe you're going with your 3 kids, like on a backpack. And I just say to them, just do one of your desires, fulfill it. Yeah. See what happens. Yeah. And it's going to take you to another level.
And then you do number 2 on the list, and so on and so forth.
Right. You begin to trust yourself. And that's what happened to me. And that's where my evolvement began, is I began to trust my intuition. Mm-hmm. And then everything changed.
That's wonderful. See, I'm taking over. I'm interviewing you now.
I know, it seems like you're interviewing me. But I have to say, you know, I think if for anyone out there, whether you're young or you have kids, wherever you are, even if you're older, whatever time period you're in your life, it's never too late to do that. Because to live, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, however many years you have on this earth in that vibration, I feel it's worth it, no matter what happens. Because I wouldn't have changed that for the world.
Right. And to complement what you were saying, I don't think it's possible to live a full life by half measures. If you're going to do something, do it.
Right. Don't talk. It's funny because I was just talking to a friend of mine, we were just talking about this, and we talked about the corridor of ambivalence. I don't know, I made it up when I was talking to
I like that.
But it really was true, because both of our lives, we were mirrors of each other for many, many years. My friends and I, we went to high school together and college. We spent a lot of time together. And we were always kind of like, we're never really in the vortex. We were just like, going from side to side. But I said, but then you're never satisfied. You never reach that euphoric state. But when you have it once, there's no going back.
Precisely.
Can I ask you how, you told us a little bit about the woman you met, and then how did things evolve after that?
With her?
No, just in general, how did your life evolve?
It's funny. I had my first love in college, and it was very, very tumultuous. And by the time it ended, there wasn't much of me left. And so I went through the next 10 years, all through the 70s, totally apart from myself. And I was like a tourist in my own life. And I partied very hard. I went out with many women, but seldom twice. And I woke up on my 30th birthday. I propped myself up from bed. I said, I'm not going to be alive for my 35th. I'll continue like this. It's not only health-wise, but what I've done to my psyche. And so I changed like that. I started trusting myself, and I met my wife 2.5 weeks later.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, and that was 30, almost 40 years ago. Yeah.
And I have to say that's true. As soon as you make that shift, you meet your life partner. I mean, it just happens that way. And everything changes, I feel like my mission came, everything kind of started to come into place. And I was like, what was I waiting for? What was I doing all those years? Where the hell was I?
But you needed to get to that point.
Right, exactly. I feel like everyone has to do those, like you just like you said, we all have our spiritual missions in our path.
They can deprive me of my money. They can deprive me of my good name. They can deprive me of my comforts and health, but they can never deprive me of me, ever.
That's so true. Yes, and I think once people realize that, that's what I realized. I can have no money, I can have nothing, I can even be on the street with my children, but they can't take away my soul from me. They can't take my heart away.
Right.
And that's the only thing that's going to save me. And once I realize that, the divine just conspires with you, in full force. There's no stopping you.
Well, certainly, I would love to give you a blessing for the road, because I think this is going to be a very magical experience for everybody. And I envy you, and I just wish you wonderfully well.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I hope to stay in touch with you, and this has been a beautiful, beautiful interview. Yes, of course I will. I'll be posting, please respond to my posts if any of them call to you. I'm inviting people, actually, to be honest with you, I'm inviting people to join us wherever I am. So if anyone's feeling called to join me on my travels, wherever I am, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to travel with you guys, whoever you are, for a little while. And thank you for the blessing. Thank you for the magic. I am feeling it already. I'm feeling the magic starting to begin. And yes, I believe it is. And my message to everyone is